5 things that I wish someone had told me when I started painting miniature. Brushes. Stop buying cheap brushes. Would you use your little brother acrylics paints? No. So just buy good quality brushes. That's the main advice that I would give myself when I started painting. Okay, I have to admit, the first time I bought a Raphael 8404, my wallet cried a bit. But boy oh boy, the painting experience is completely different. It's actually so much better to paint with a good brush. At the end of the day, this is the tool we use the most when we are painting. Imagine your new brush. It doesn't split anymore after 20 minutes of painting, the bristles don't go away, and you can actually have a really precise tip. This is exactly what you will get if you pay the extra cost for a good quality brush, and I really recommend you do it. But you also need to be careful, because you need to take care of it. It's not just like your brush that you have. Don't let it sit overnight in your dirty water. No more metallics. Do not dry brush with it. Don't use PVA glue. What you should do is take some brush soap and get rid of the excess water and excess paint after your painting session. And if you follow my advice and you don't do what I just told you not to do, you will see that your paintbrush is alive for much longer. I would suggest that you try Raphael series of Kolinsky Sable series, I think. The 8404 brushes. You can also try the Arctis Opus paint brushes. I've never used them, but I heard that they're really good as well. And you're looking for a fine tip, a belly that holds itself, and also for natural hair, because the flexibility of the bristles are just better than from synthetic ones. Of course, you will find everything in the description box down below. What are you waiting for? Just do your wet palette. I mean, it's such a good tool. You will save so much money because your paint just don't dry. You can use it for weeks. It's easier to control your paint dilution and to mix your paint together. What you need is a box container with paper towel. You add water until your paper towel are completely wet, and you just put a parchment paper on top, and that should do the trick. When your paint session is over, you just have to put a lid on top of your box and make sure that there is some airflow in this box. Otherwise, humidity will make your paint too diluted. Airbrush. You don't need it now. You will need it, but not now. So don't use one. That's it. But you will need it. You need to master paint dilution. It's so important. That's the third advice I would give myself. Why? Because first, the paint is really thick, so it may cover any small details. Second, it really helps the paint flow better. And third, if you're better at paint dilution, you can actually master your paints and understand exactly how she will react with the miniature and the layers that you have already painted. So you need to learn paint dilution. To do so, what I did one day, and I'm actually really happy that I did this because I improved so much after, I sat down at my desk armed with a wet palette, my expensive brush, a blank sheet of paper, a wet paper towel, and some water. Some French water. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw some squares on the blank sheet of paper, and you're going to take your wet palette, add a color, and some water on top. I'm sorry for the change of microphone, but I didn't record this part before. So you're going to see exactly how much ratio to paint to water you have on your wet palette. So when you're going to paint the squares, you will know like the dilution that you used. What you're looking for is something that you like to work with. I know that for base coating, I like to play with a 1-to-1 ratio. For glazing, I really like to go
with a 1:3 ratio because it's really light and easy to work with. And actually I was surprised when I redo this exercise that everything past 1:4 looks quite the same. I don't know why though, because we're adding less and less water and I'm really rinsing my brush every time. But it just looks the same on this thick paper. Anyways, that was quite interesting. And what you want to know and do when you're doing this exercise, just like which one of this consistency you prefer to work with, and apply this for your miniature painting.
Painting is actually a hard skill to learn, so you will need plenty of time to learn it, to experience it, and to improve. And I think that's something that I struggled when I was beginning. I really wanted to have great results on the first go, which is impossible! You should not compare yourself to better painter. You can actually try to copy their painting technique, skills and color scheme, but don't put pressure on you. Just go easy, go slow. You won't have the same results because you just don't have the same practice time. Just try to paint a bit when you want, when you can, and don't forget to enjoy it.